volume off on that. All right, so that looks good. And we should be live right now. I'm going to go check the live check just to make sure.
It says live.
Go there. Yep, there it is.
Cool.
Okay, so we are live, guys. How's it going? Right.
Is he trying to?
I
can't trying to stay flag there. I can't tell
if he's lagging out or exactly. Whew. Well, technical difficulties aside, we are here.
We're only 10 minutes late. That's a welcome change.
Yeah, well, some of us were on time.
Some of us were on time. We just weren't on call.
Same difference.
But
well, you want to start it off like we always do, Jeff?
Sure, sounds good. Welcome to another beer phase, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, we can let Ryan do it if he wants to. No.
Welcome to another episode of the beer phase.
It's time to drink some beer and roll some dice. I've been liking that.
Whatever order we do it in.
Yeah.
Does order matter?
So, started off in good fashion. I am currently drinking, as per usual for Sundays.
Nice.
I'm doing Lakewood Mole Temptress out of my
Alamo
Pilsner glass, baby.
Workbox glass. That's fantastic.
I feel like a dick for not doing that now.
I almost feel like a dick, but that's for my second pint.
I have got the new Shiner Cream Ale.
Oh, nice.
And I'm drinking it out of my Captain America glass. And I've got to say, it's a pretty good little cream ale. I like it a lot. I hope they make it a lot more. Ryan, what do you got?
I'm on a Dogfish Head Immortal Ale.
Ooh.
The glare from my camera's just blown out. I'm drinking it out of a Rogna snifter because beer like this needs to be in the proper glass so that I can swirl it and act pretentious. And it is exceptionally amazing.
I heard it was really, really good.
Yeah, I've been sitting on this bottle for almost a year now. Brewed in January, so yeah, I've been sitting on it for 9 months.
Wow.
I have a bad habit of doing that. Bottles don't feel good when you sit on them.
True. Then you have to go to the doctor to get them out.
Yeah,
right.
Proctologists have great stories, though. So
Yeah, they do.
I swear.
Speaking of proctologists,
all right.
Yeah. How's it been? You know, this is your lead-in. Tell us about how Alamo's going.
Alamo is going fantastic. Asterisk. Oh my God! Someone please kill me. Got a long to-do list, but the list of what's done is shorter or is longer, but it's very much checked off. Waiting on a couple of things from one of our manufacturers that's doing the tokens. He's got, I think, 20 more obstacles he's got to get me. I need folders. Just the little ticky-tack stuff of running a tournament that everyone takes for granted. You will have a sheet of of all the scenarios. You will have all this stuff. It's just all the stuff the TOs have to remember in the last week, except for Mark, who gets it all done like months ahead of time because he's a weird guy.
I like to do that like 2 or 3 weeks in advance.
I usually do too, but I'm also a lazy guy, so
you've also got 3 kids.
That does slow things down.
Yeah, right.
So things are good. We're doing well. I think everything I'm expecting to have will be there, except maybe a couple of the Mantic prize supports that get released this week that I'm not sure are going to get in time. I need to ping them about that. It's going to be a little tight getting them there, but they're supposed to ship tomorrow, so they overnight them usually.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm very excited. Yeah, I did matchups this afternoon, and there are some really interesting things in there that I think there are going to be a couple of games that are really, really good to go watch on the side, and there's some where you look at them and you go, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've got some really lopsided matchups, too.
Once comp is pulled out of the equation, the only thing that was really a prohibition is not playing people from your city. So there's some matchups where I feel bad for some people.
Well, they'll get into the kiddie pool really quick with that method.
Yeah, because there's no club immunity, so.
No, we don't do club immunity anymore because clubs are such a weird thing anyway now because so many aren't the guys you always play with. They're just people that act the same way. So
I think there are some actual clubs, but yeah, I don't think it matters either way. One way or the other, you're going to end up playing the person if you end up playing them. So
yeah, the way we're doing immunity this year, we're grouping you by city, main city. So all the San Francisco, Oakland, Bay Area people are lumped into one group. The Orange County people are all lumped into one group. The Metroplex, Dallas, Fort W people are all lumped into a group. And you won't have to play those guys the first couple of rounds because we assume those are the guys you play anyway. That said,
how thoroughly did you fact check that?
I know, because I saw one of them.
Because there's one that stands out to me too.
There are a couple that were challenges that are exceptions to that, and
I wasn't even talking about that one. I know we.
No, yeah.
Earlier.
There are a couple where they didn't tell me where they were, so if I
Okay,
don't remember, then I don't remember.
Cool.
And if you don't tell me, then I can remember, or I could not bother, and that may have happened in one or two cases.
Yeah, we had that conversation at the bar earlier, Jeff and I, and we were like, he really doesn't know these two people.
No,
yeah, he doesn't because he wasn't at Bayou. So yeah.
So sorry if you're playing someone from your hometown. When I say tell me where you're from and what army you're playing, then follow the damn instructions. God.
Should we
just jump right into it?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've shot the shit long enough, and we're already late. So let's
all right,
hop into it.
We're gonna jump in with game one, and this one requires that I read off the challenge that was issued for this one.
Also, we should note we are reading lists and not magic items, correct?
Correct. Game one of Alamo is going to be as closed list as Kings of War gets, which is here's a unit, here are the options for the unit, here are the standard upgrades like spells.
Okay, so we are doing standard upgrades. All right.
Yes, but we don't know what magic artifacts any unit has.
Okay, sounds good.
I like it.
So for table one, we are going to have the mighty and illustrious Quentin Q. Bone versus the slightly ham-boned Richard Vaught. And Q sent me a copy of the challenge, so I will read it in appropriate fashion.
Ham-bone.
Let's face it, Richard. Neither one of us wears the penis in our household. Nobody's going to be talking about two cucked-out, fedora-tipping man-children rolling dice with one hand while we hold our wives' purses with the other. They're going to be talking about the girl power fest at the other table, and who can blame them when this is what's facing off? So let's just get it over with, because like a constipated shit, or 3 turns in a 6-hour game with Justin Belusic, it's going to be painful. But it has to be done. So this is the first of our challenges. We'll start off with the challenges because they are easier to deal with.
True.
Quentin Bone and Richard Vaught. As a spoiler alert, the second challenge is Q's husband-wife, Jen Starling, against Richard's husband-wife, Kenzie. I say husband-wife because those are the ones that really wear the pants.
That's correct.
All right.
Yeah. All right. I'll start with Q.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So Q is bringing the forces of nature, which is pretty much what he's been bringing this year. And it looks to be almost the same or the same as what he has been sticking to. So he's going to have a lot of experience with this list. So he's got a regiment of the Hunters of the Wild, which, Pathfinder, Vanguard dudes. He's got 1, 2, 3 hordes of Forest Shamblers, also Vanguard, Pathfinder. He's got just a troop of the Bray Centaur Hunters, which are the ranged damage centaurs, the light centaurs.
Yeah, the guys with those.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And he's got 2 Centaur Chiefs. So those are the heroes that give him some inspiring and go do some lockdown damage. He's got a Tree Herder, like you do. You don't leave home without him. And the Winged Unicorn. His Winged Unicorn has the full freaking kit with Bane Chant and Lightning Bolt. And the heal that he automatically comes with.
Yep.
And then he's got a Beast of Nature times 1, 2. One of them has, or they both have Lightning Bolt and Vicious with 7 attacks. One of them has Fly.
Yep.
So pretty much the same list he brought to Bayou.
Yep. Looks pretty similar.
And on the other end of the table for that is going to be Richard Vought's Empire of Dust. I don't know if this is what he brought to Bayou because I was sadly not at Bayou. He's going to be running a horde of skeleton warriors, a horde of revenants with the two-handed weapons instead of shields, a horde of enslaved guardians, a regiment of skeleton archer cavalry, a horde of revenant worm riders, a bone giant, a pharaoh like you do, a cursed high priest like you do, and an idol of Shobik. So it's actually very close to what he ran at Lone Wolf, where he beat the snot out of me with it. Pretty
this is not
interesting match.
what he took.
That's
This
not
is
what
not
he
what
had
he
when
took
you played him at Bayou. Okay.
No, it was a completely different list.
So he
this
went
one,
different.
I would say this one is significantly more powerful.
Cool. So who wants to kick it off with picks?
Why don't you do that, Mark? Why don't you start?
All right. Well, I played Q's list, and I'm actually pretty afraid of Q's list, even after having played it.
Good.
He just played a little different than I kind of thought he would when he was coming at me, and maybe that's from playing Jeff all the time because Jeff, you've played something similar like that against me.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that Q's list has the leg power to do a lot of damage, and quickly, and not really have to worry about terrain too much. Man, this is just kind of a different Empire of Dust list than I've seen. I don't know that the Idol of Shobik is going to help so much. Then again, maybe it will.
That thing is amazing.
Yeah, it's so tough to pick it because it's so expensive. So it usually draws a lot of attention real quick. The Bone Giant's really good too. Golly,
he's got some good hitters in there.
Yeah, he does. Everything's pretty heavy hitting, but he's also a little slow. Did we see a lot of Bane Chant run around? A little bit there. Sorry, not Bane Chant. I was saying, thinking Surge.
Surge.
I think he's got
just
two Surge casters. He's got a Pharaoh and a Priest.
8 and 18.
Yeah,
18 Surge. So he's only going to be surging at least 2 units a turn if he's doing that. I think one more thing of Surge in there might have. Yeah, I'm going to go with Q on this. I think Q is going to be a little faster and get around him, get those edges, and provided Q plays right. Sorry, Q, I love you. Yeah, I'll go with Q. Probably like a 14 or 16 point win.
All right, Jeff.
Yeah, I like Q's army in general, but I just think that Richard's army kind of has everything that Q doesn't want to go get Operation Grill versus Richard here, because Q's army is just very quick and is supposed to get in there and punch you in the mouth real fast, but I don't know that that's beneficial versus what Richard has here.
He's gonna have to break on the dive. I mean, he can't let anything survive, pretty much.
Yeah,
if he sticks
because
anywhere.
And it's really one of those kind of double-edged swords, right? If you do want to get into Richard here and start putting some pain down on him early, even if you break one of his hordes, now you're in a predicament where he can spin and surge stuff in, get flanks. It's a bad situation to have to fight something in the front because he's never going to get around Richard with the Empire Dust and having the surge and stuff like that. So if he gets around, it's because Richard let him. He doesn't have enough fly to get up and over all of Richard's stuff. So,
my money. That actually begs a good question. Are we going kill focused for this first scenario, or are we doing something different?
I don't.
And I don't want you to give away.
Top of my head, I don't want
you to give away too much. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It's definitely
I'm assuming kill
scenario.
Well, here's the thing: is I'm going to go off of still being able to capture points and stuff like that, obviously, but Richard has a lot of capability to take up a lot of footprint on a map here, and he also has the capability to really deny what Q's army does, which is get around you quick, move up really, really fast on turn one and get into shooters and stuff like that. But Richard doesn't really have any shooting stuff that he cares or is worried about.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I'm going list to list and I have to play one of these lists, in this matchup, I like Richard's list better for the matchup, not for the tournament, but for the matchup. So I'm going to go with Richard with like a 13 or 14.
You like that little dig in there, Richard? Like right at the end? Oh, not for the tournament, but for this one game.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm saying Q's army is more suitable for the entire tournament. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, what he's saying is you didn't write a good list, Richard.
I'll go so far. I'll confirm that Game 1 does not have objectives to capture.
Okay.
So it's not loot or pillage.
Mm-hmm. Good to know. Ryan, you get your final
I get
say.
to be the tiebreaker on this one.
Yeah, man.
Generally, when I look at two armies like this, I go, which one's the more mobile? Because I think mobility breaks a lot of when the armies look fairly evenly matched up. Q's got him with mobility, but then I take a second look at Q's and I don't see the punch there that I want to see it have for that. Centaurs are nimble, or they're not nimble, but they're fast. They can get where you want them. But Centaur Chiefs aren't going to do a lot, and those Forest Shamblers are slower than you want. He's only got one Surge Caster, I think.
Correct, only one Surge.
Yeah, the tree, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when I look at it, I actually see Richard's army being a little more mobile because he's got that second Surge Caster. So that
Threat
if
value
he does throw a unicorn or his flying beast off to the side, he can still get there. I hate doing that. I'm going to have to go with Richard on a 12, probably 12-8. It's going to be tighter than I think it could be,
gotcha.
but I'm going to give Richard the edge on it, just on a list-to-list stand-up. Now Q's going to beat the crap out of me about it.
As far as putting points on stuff, it would be good to know, are we doing like stuff that has like victory points, even if it's pillage or loot tokens or something like that? Are we just playing it like, at least for the first game, is it going to be like there's 16-4 and then 4 battle points on the table available, or is it just
20.
straight up sliding 20 with points?
It's sliding 20 with additional bonus points you can earn to get towards the 20-0.
Okay, cool.
Good to know.
I like that.
I think the spread's up on the Alamo site, alamofantasygt.com. And it'll explain point margins. The only scenario that differs from that, I think, is going to be pillage, where you only have 4 or 5 markers, so you can't do it as easily.
Okay.
But all the others are pretty close.
All right, sounds good.
So we are on to table 2.
Table
Richard
2
takes the vote on that.
And
yep,
yeah,
we got Richard.
Richard is down for the win on that. Table 2, we've got Jen Starling and Kinsey Vo. And Ryan, I think you've got a challenge for them to read off too, right?
I do have a challenge for them to read off as well. I can't do a Jen impersonation, Jen. I'm sorry. So I'll do my best. I've seen you at other tournaments, and we've hung out, but we've never played a game. I tire of playing men whose only objective is not to be beat by a girl. I'm calling you out for some girl-on-girl action at the Alamo. We will have the only table that is not permeated with the smell of unwashed nerd balls in the history of the Alamo GT. Let's show the boys how it's done.
Well, I mean, minus the balls that Q and Richard gave up that are sitting
I was
in
going to say
purses.
they have the unwashed nerd balls in their handbags, but I think you pointed out that the men hold the handbags, so
That's true. Yeah, Q did say that. All right, so I've got Jen's
Mark,
list.
do that?
Yep, I will do that right now. She has forces of Basileia or Basilia, depending on how you like to pronounce it. She's got 2 hordes of the Alohi. She has 2 regiments of the Sister Panther Riders. Those things are awesome. I love those. She's got 2 Abesses. Let's see. She's got Julius, the Dragon of the Heaven. And then she's got 1, 2, 3 Phoenixes. Let's see. And did I miss any upgrades? Oh, the Abesses are mounted on. Panthers. Yeah, they're mounted on Panthers.
Pussy Riders.
Yep. Ride the pussy. Power of the pussy. All right. So, what do you want to do?
Kenzie's?
Sure. So Kinsey is taking her Titty Sprinkles elves. So she will have 1 regiment of kindred archers and 1 horde of kindred archers. She's got a troop of hunters of the wild, just a little chaffer troop there. Stormwind cavalry, she's got a regiment of those. She's got a horde, because you don't leave home without at least 1 horde of Dracon riders. And then she's got the living legend Argus Rodnar, which is basically, if you don't know what it is, it's like a, I think that's the one that like can hand out the inspiring rule to any one of her units. So it's like a little 50 points deployable hero that like is an altar. So she can like, if something's way over in the corner, she can kind of like just give it inspiring if it's outside of a bubble. So that's pretty cool.
Turn, right? Or is it?
Yeah, it's for the full turn. Yep,
Yeah.
for the full turn. Army standard bearer. She's got 1 of those guys, and that bad boy is mounted on just a horse. And then we've got a elven mage. And the mage, of course, has your automatic fireball 10 and heal 3, but she's also upgraded him with Bane Chant 2 and the fireball 10. Sorry, added the fireball 10. Where else are we? And he's mounted. A lot of mounted stuff in here. This whole army is pretty mobile, except for the shooting part of it.
She's got a second mage there too.
Yeah, she does have
second
2
mage
mages.
with Bane Chant 2. Yeah, just a Bane Chant 2 and heal 3. And the Green Lady, evidently. Am I mistaken? I thought you had only 1 living legend rule.
Nope, that was in Warhammer.
Okay, just making sure.
That was Lone Wolf. I did that.
Okay, I couldn't remember. And then you've got the Green Lady's Wild Guard, which are basically just hunters of the wild, but they gain regen and headstrong. So, and that's a full regiment of those guys, and they're really, really, really good. If you can get the Green Lady behind them, becomes a very powerful unit. So that is Kinsey's list.
Ryan, I think you get the.
And I get the first call on that one. Jen's list is fast. It's wonderfully fast. Does she have anything that's not move 10? No, she does
She
not.
doesn't have a single thing that's less than
Nope,
10.
not a single thing.
So she's going to get...
She usually does, because she usually has a horde of chariots as well. So it's usually
no more she
9.
don't.
And they're only move 9.
They're only
That's
move 9.
waste. It's too slow for this army. So
I really like Jen's list. Being able to pick your fights helps cover a lot of tactical ineptitudes on my part. It's why I love my herd. It's why any other army I play I'm going to do awful in. Kenzie's list has some good shooting, but not as much as I'm used to on one of Kenzie's lists. And all she can really handle... She's got a few things that can get the threat range that Jen's whole army has. I'm going to go with Jen on this one just because she's going to be able to pick the hole she wants to punch and then just drive it in that hole over and over again.
phrasing. Are we not doing phrasing?
Are we doing phrasing?
We're doing phrasing.
Entendre. So yeah, I'm gonna go Jen 14-6.
That's solid.
Mark,
Jeff,
what you got?
Okay, I'll go. I echo that. Golly, dude, if Jen doesn't want something to get in combat, she can literally keep out of combat if she wants to. Like, she can dance around that entire board with everything moving 10. The Iron Resolve is going to keep stuff on the board. The Phoenixes being able to heal almost at will are going to keep things on the board. And you can't sleep on those Aloha either. Man, if she's running like, golly, I don't want to give away tactics, but from the way that we've been trying to like get Sean to run his Basileia army, like if Jin did that, it'd be a hard fight for anybody. So yeah, too much speed 10. I'm going to go with that all day. She's going to get in where she needs to. Kinsey's got a lot of shooting, but not enough to get the job done with all that Iron Resolve and all that heal on the board. So yeah, I'm going to take Jin. I'm going to go like a 16 to 18 point win on that. I think she's going to expose some stuff and crack it open. Those Dracons will be a little tough, but I think she can rebound from a first turn charge on that if she's playing it right.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I
That's
kind of
rebuttal.
see Jen. I kind of see this one going in Jen's favor too. But this is what I see here. On top of that is, Kenzie is going to have this a lot closer, I think, than what you're thinking. Because with the amount of shooting that she has, those Panther riders, they kind of fall over to a stiff breeze, you know. So with the amount of shooting she has, those guys should never really be a factor. The main issue I see here is once
I mean,
Jen
if she's
wants.
shooting the Panther Riders, she's not shooting some of the other stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, but that's probably what I would do because it's auto points. I mean, like it's auto free points in one shooting phase guaranteed. Because like those Alohi are going to get into anything anyway. You're not going to kill those Alohi in one shooting phase, and you only have one shooting phase to shoot. You know what I mean?
In theory,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think Kenzie has enough stuff to keep all of the movement off of her shooting quick enough. You know what I mean? Like if she blocks up some stuff with maybe some chaff units, it's fine, but she doesn't have enough chaff to like make a wall of chaff for all these flying units there and speed 10 units that are going to get into her. If she's able to withstand the first onslaught of charge from all that flying, then she has enough heal to bring it back and really put a hurt on. So I think that Jen will have this one, but I think Jen's only gonna take this one by maybe like a 12. I wouldn't say a 16 because I think Kenzie has enough early damage to pick up units that she doesn't want to have on the board later on.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Next up, we've got Lex Simon versus Sean Bright. And I will jump in with Lex's list. Lex is running Brotherhood with allied Basileans. He's got an allied horde of Alohi. And then on his Brotherhood, he has 2 hordes of the Villain Martyrs, 2 regiments of Order of the Brotherhood. He's got 3 Villain Siege Artillery. He has 1, 2, 3 Forsaken Beasts with Breath Attacks and with Vicious. He's got an Exemplar Adjutant, and he's got an Exemplar Adjutant on Barded Horse. Mark, what's Sean bringing to the party?
Sean is bringing Abyssal Dwarves because apparently he's not going for sports points anymore. So here's what he's got.
Get made.
He's got 3 regiments of the Immortal Guard.
Is he just using the Slayers, but he's going to make them Abyssal Dwarves?
I'm going to guess that's probably what's going to happen, but I don't know for sure. He could be borrowing it. So yeah, he's got 3 regiments of the Immortal Guard. They have the Throwing Mastiff upgrade, and then they've all swapped shields for 2-hand weapons. So they're going to be 1 lower defense, but they're going to have CS1 running around. He has 2 hordes of the Obsidian Golems. Wow, that's kind of a default.
He's borrowing Dustin's army.
That might be it, because you want to guess what's next on the list?
Yeah.
3 heavy mortars.
He must be borrowing Dustin's army.
That might be what he's doing. 3 heavy mortars. He's got a slave driver. He has a Supreme Ironcaster on a winged half-breed. He's got 2 of those. And they both come with Surge 10, or they've taken the upgrade for Surge 10. And then he's got Brocky Barca, which is a living legend.
Mm-hmm.
So that is Sean's list. So that sounds to you like he's borrowing Dustin's army then, huh?
It's
pretty close.
It's not exactly Dustin's army, but I can't think of anybody on there that has all those models ready to go.
Maybe I'm not paying.
Unless he's borrowing Jody's, and is Jody playing Undead?
I don't know. I haven't looked at Jody's list yet.
That's about the only other thing I can think of, because that's almost exactly Jody's list. So
Jody's way down on the list, so I hadn't even looked at his yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that is what our 2 folks are bringing. Let's see, who didn't read off? Jeff?
Jeff didn't read.
I think your first pick.
Oh, well, I mean, the Abyssal Dwarf list is rough, man. I mean, there ain't nothing about it. I mean, like it's a rough list. It's not. I mean, it's not. The the reason why I'm wondering here is because it's still got so many Immortal Guard.
Yeah.
It's not like it doesn't have all the shooting that Dustin's list normally has, which is why I was like, maybe it's not Dustin's
I got
army. But yeah, it's got lots of punch, lots of defense, lots. I mean, just it's rough, man. It's good. I don't think it's super gross. I think it's a good list.
Well,
but
I
don't
mean,
think it's
he's the only shooting he's really got is
the mortars.
the mortars. I mean, and don't get me wrong, they are disgustingly good, but it's not like he's shooting with anything else. So
No,
Yeah.
I think it's
It's
a
not what
solid
you're
list.
expecting from an Abyssal Dwarf list.
Right,
it's a nice change, honestly.
Yeah.
At least it's going to
So,
fight.
just so we know, those Immortal Guard, he swapped out all the defense
Yep.
5 for
Every single one of
extra
them.
crushing.
Yep.
So he's defense 4 on all of them. So I think it's still a pretty fun list. It's just one of those things that you like look at and like, oh my gosh, it's rough, but it's not that bad. I like Lex's list, but man,
If memory serves, Lex has done pretty well in this game so far.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, he has been. He's been doing really well.
Yeah.
I'm looking at. Yeah, the 3 siege artillery are good too at their points. This is a rough one, man. It's gonna be really close, I think.
It's like a coin flip, right?
Yeah, almost. I'm gonna go edge to Lex here because there's not enough. I'm gonna say that they're both gonna have the exact same amount of artillery in this, but I think Lex has the movement, and the movement to me is where it's gonna come in here because the speed 6 and speed 8 and stuff like that everywhere, and then he's got a flying Aloha unit. I think he's gonna be able to reach out and touch where he wants to get to, and then those Forsaken beasts can really, really pile in on you, and and he's got 30 breath attacks himself with just the Forsaken beast, So
Correct.
he has a lot of utility, and I generally favor people who have a Swiss Army knife rather than a machete. Have the tools that you need when you need them instead of just a big axe. So I'm gonna say that Lex is gonna take this one. I'm gonna go with like a 12 for Lex.
Okay. I've got next. I like Sean's list as a way to do Abyssals without being just a dick punch shooty list. I actually think Lex outshoots.
He does.
Sean.
Yeah,
on paper, I think it's pretty good. He's got the range. I'm going to go with Lex on this one too. I got to watch one of his games at Lone Wolf, and it was a lot of fun watching him moving around the way he does. And this army can be pretty flexible, especially with that Horde of Elohi in there. I love that add-in. I'm going to go Lex. I'm going to go 14-6.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree here. He does have more shooting than Sean, and he's got bigger range than Sean. So unless Sean is really tight on his surge game and can catch Lex out, I don't see how Lex loses this with all that extra movement. So yeah, I'll take Lex, and I'll go 16 on that.
Big
No, Sean's doing a lot of shooting stuff, or not shooting, but Sean's doing a lot of well-maintained combat. Lex is going to be able to dive across and take out that artillery if he needs to, and then pick everything else apart. So, yeah, I'll take Lex on that one.
Okay.
Just gotta remind yourself that Sean has heals and Lex doesn't. So
Yeah, I don't put much into heal personally.
I'm saying he's got defense 6 and heals. That was part of it. So. Okie dokie.
Next up, we've got Chad Pond versus Fred Whitney. Jeff, you want to read off Chad for us?
I was hoping to get Fred's.
Okay. Jeff, you want to read off Fred's for us?
Okay,
God,
thank you. I know I'm
my
high
4-year-old, but I wanted to read Fred's.
I'm high maintenance.
Make this
Well,
list
I just won with Fred's list. So I wanted to see what he changed. Oh, he's taking the herd. What?
Yeah, it's not even Trident Realms.
That's
What
actually
a dick.
That's actually a good move on his part, because now he doesn't have to listen to you talk about how good you did with his list.
Oh, shut up.
And
I was.
we just saved like 8 minutes on this stream by that one move.
damn it.
Thank you, Fred.
Damn it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well played.
I would have told him to fly with 2 armies, and I'd have borrowed the other one again.
You want to be the ringer? I got a crappy undead list for you.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah. You like challenges. Do it.
I do. Okay, so Fred's taking the herd, so I mean that'll still be fun for him. He's been really liking them. He's got them all rebased and they look real nice. So he's starting up with some tribal warriors. He's taking a horde of those guys. He's got 2 regiments of the tribal longhorns, so a little bit more elite fighty dudes. Pretty cheap for their output. He's got 2 hordes of the guardian brutes. Those are your minotaurs. 2 hordes of those guys. He's got 2 beast pack chaffs troops. He's got the Brutox. Love that Brutox, man. Love
Fantastic.
it. I love a Brutox, man. Chimera with wings, another really great choice. And then he's got 2 shamans, both of them with the heal upgrade, obviously. No mounts or anything for them, so they'll be kind of slogging it. And then he's got a shaman on a mount finally. Yeah, so he does have one on the mount.
Yep.
And he has the heal as well. Solid army. Like it.
On the other side, Chad is bringing Ratkin. He's got a legion of tunnel slaves. He's got a regiment of warriors, 2 hordes of shock troops. He's got a horde of blight, a regiment of vermintide, 2 weapon teams with Storm of Lead, because I think all weapon teams come with Storm of Lead.
They come with it. Yeah, you have to pay to take it off.
They should.
Yeah. A pair of death engines.
Damn.
An enforcer, a pair of warlocks, and a swarm crier.
Love the enforcer.
Mark, you want to give a pick?
You guys read. Golly, I'm gonna have to be biased here, aren't I?
Oh, let it come out.
Let me take a
Let it come out.
Fred's,
Bare
just
your
in
front
case.
You want some cheese? Squeak a little bit.
Just making sure he's got
Squirt
the
some
Legion.
here.
He's doing things a little different with this list. Okay.
It's almost the same list he took to West Coast. He just
That doesn't
neutered
help
it.
me.
Neutered it by 200. Well, it does help because he did pretty well.
He cut 200 points out.
Yeah, but he did really well at West Coast.
Yeah. Wow. God, all right. I'm going to be biased. I'm going to go with Chad, man. I've seen Chad play. He plays rat style armies for a long time, so he kind of knows how to play it out. Golly. Yeah. Give me Chad. I'll go 14 or 12 point win because I think Fred's still got a lot of tricks, and I think Fred's pretty decent when it's going to come to the herd. So we'll see how that comes out, but I'll take Chad 14 to 12 point win.
14-12 is not a valid score, so I'm giving you 13.
He's going to have between 14. Give him 13. That's fine. Actually, 13 is the perfect number that he should have. So
that world's dead. Jeff,
make no sense. Yeah. I'm gonna go on the other side on this one, which is kind of weird because Fred doesn't have enough range to really like poke at the things he needs to poke down early. So he's gonna be really fighting an uphill battle. But the thing is once he gets in, it is gonna be just it's gonna be hell. He's gonna have so much damage output, and the terrain is gonna be almost a non-factor because he's got Pathfinder everywhere. The one thing I think Fred's missing a little bit here is I would like to see at least 1 unit of Lycans in there, just because they add so much tactics to that army. Like at least 1 unit of them. That nimble is really, really important. I think Fred's going to get kind of shot up real bad early, and then he's going to pull it back slowly. So I'm going to say that Fred's going to win this one, but Fred's going to get like an 11 or a 12.
Okay. I am going to agree with Jeff, much as I hate it. I'm a huge fan of her. Chad's army looks dangerous at range.
It's pretty menacing.
Just 2 weapon teams, 2 death engines, warlocks. He's got a lot of reach out and touch you.
Mm-hmm.
But God, everyone forgets how fast Herd is.
Mhm.
And the ability to just run through the middle of terrain gives you so many options that kind of hurt what Rat can want to do with funneling you into fire lanes. Whereas Herd will just go, "Hey, forest, mine!" and run through the middle of it. I'm like Jeff. I would like to see a unit of Lycans or a Stampede in here, but
Yeah, I mean the
Shaman-
Stampede for sure.
I think the lack of a stampede really makes it an accent point because he's going to go. I'm going to go away from the default choice that everybody else is taking and still win.
Oh yeah, that's what Fred does. Yeah.
Brutox are awesome. Chimeras are
They
awesome.
are.
Shamans are one of the best character choices in the game, I think, because they
It's
give you
probably
Bane
the
Chant
best,
3.
other than maybe a God Speaker.
Yeah,
You can
Godspeed.
give them heal, and you can make them inspiring. How many casters are inspiring in this game?
That's what I'm saying.
Typically, only one that you buy the
Yeah.
inspiring talisman for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Herd
Forces
can be
of
built
Nature,
really
they
well.
don't
I
have
think
a BS, but they have
that's
a
true.
Druid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Fred with this one, and I'm gonna go the inverted 13-7 because rats are dead.
Ooh, you're gonna take that away from him, huh?
Yeah. There you go. That's that.
Mean.
All right.
Y'all being mean.
Am I be mean. Am I leading off on this one, or is Jeff going to read his list and I'll read his challenge?
Jeff will read this one, and you'll read his challenge.
Okay, cool.
We screwed up the rotation because Jeff stole Fred's list.
Well, you told me to
Whole
play
thing's messed
Chad, do Chad or.
In theory, I was still going to read one either way. So,
Did you want me to read mine then?
Yeah, please.
it was kind of the idea.
Okay, so I'm taking the Abyssals again. I'm going mono Abyssals. There's a
explain
couple
the
of units
challenge
everybody
first?
keeps on. Oh yeah, sure. So basically, Brian Brown from Club Capri challenges me, and I say, okay, sure, yeah, no problem. Just make sure you get it on over to Ryan, which didn't happen that night. And in the next morning, David Bowman had said, hey, I'm going to take it upon myself to write a challenge for Jeff and Robbie to play each other. I didn't challenge Robbie. Robbie didn't challenge me. David Bowman wrote
You
a
were
challenge
challenged
saying,
by a third party.
Get called out.
the
Bitch.
people want to see Robbie versus Jeff. So it was.
You know what
it was
that
one of
really
those
is?
things.
That's the Bowman wants to see two threats eliminate each other.
Oh, that's fine. I don't mind playing Robbie. Robbie's a good game.
Metagame.
I've never had a game with Robbie that I didn't enjoy. So, I will be playing.
Also, while we're talking about it, Robbie, in theory, challenged Jacob Berry and just totally shit the bed on that challenge too. So
That was about the worst challenge I've
David-
ever seen.
David bailed his ass out by throwing
Wow.
this other challenge at him too. You're welcome, Jacob. I know you're watching.
And on top of that, like I told Bowman that if he's going to do that challenge, then he needs to write up a proper challenge. But he needs to write up both sides of it, mine and Robbie's, and play in character and go back and forth and do the challenge. That didn't happen because
So we're still waiting for that gay erotica, is what we're saying.
giant flake,
Fan
So-
fiction.
They call it slash fic.
right?
Jeff / Robbie.
Right.
Tweak and Craig.
Clicking Quig. All right, so I'm taking an Abyssals list. There's a couple units that people have been complaining about on the forums, so I decided I was going to put some of those units in my list and show that they can still do stuff. So, with that being said, I took a Horde of Larva. Yes, I don't think I've seen it on the table yet, but I'm taking a Horde of Larva because that's fun. So, you're probably asking what Larva are, but they're speed 5 with Shamble and worse than zombies because they melee on a 6 with defense 4, but they have ensnare. All right, other than that, we've got 2 regiments of Sakubai, and we've got a regiment of the Abyssal Guard, 2 regiments of Tortured Souls, because hordes are for wusses, and 2 Ifrits, a Well of Souls, and a Archfiend of the Abyss with wings.
Alrighty.
That is it.
So here's what Robbie's bringing to the table. He has Varangar. He's got Bloodsworn. He's got 2 regiments of those. He has 2 hordes of the Fallen. He has 2 regiments of the Mounted Sons of Korgan. Are we? I guess I'll keep that off for now. He's got Direfang Riders. He's got a horde of those.
Direfang.
He has 2 Magus Conclaves. He's given them the Elite upgrade. He's got Scald. And he's got Scalds.
Which one is Scald?
Scald is it's like a hero.
Hero
Like
with throwing axes.
Like a BSB. Like a Marauder champion.
Scalds were bards in the old days.
Oh, I know what he is. Okay, I got you.
And then
he's not a named character. He's just like a BSB.
No. He's got like one, and then he's got 2 more Scalds, and those are mounted. So
gotcha.
Those are his inspiring that he's going to run up behind the rest of his army.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So let's see. Jeff read. So Ryan, you get first pick.
To me, well, I have not played against Varangar yet. I don't think so. I know that's odd. I'm missing a lot.
They're tough.
I've played a list much like Jeff's, and it was a dick punch list.
By tough.
It just wasn't any fun to play against. I guess the only difference was that list had war trombones and this one doesn't.
Oh, are you talking about Robert Brandon's list?
From Lone Wolf.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a whole different list. That is a horrible, horrible list.
Taking 1 unit of larva does not a soft list make.
Oh, snap.
No, it's the not having a champion, not having dogs.
Not having a cronies.
Yeah.
Yeah, just taking the Well of Souls instead.
Because he's a soft choice. Super soft.
At least he can move. I want to say Robbie on this one, but I know Jeff's going to put it on his bulletin board, so I'm going to say Jeff squeaks out a 12-8.
No shit. You're really thinking like Robbie was going to win that, huh?
Robbie's got defense 5 everywhere, too.
I'll shut up. You'll get the last word. We'll get to listen to you for 10 minutes. I'm going to go now.
God.
All right. So, yeah, that is the one point of concern for Jeff is the high defense that Robbie's running around with. It's going to be tougher because Jeff doesn't stack a lot of crushing other than his tortured souls, and those can kind of die easily if Robbie plays smart and kind of plays protectively. But Robbie's going to want to push across and really start the combat pretty quick so that he can really stack up all that punching that he's got, because he punches hard. Robbie's got a lot of fucking punch. So I could see why Robbie would be the attractive pick here. I've got to go with Jeff. I think Jeff's going to needle dick his way into a 15-point win here. But you know what? Maybe more like a 15 to 13 in that range. But I'm going to take Jeff on this one.
See, I like that now we've given Jeff the really hard choice of either being a total asshat and picking against himself, which no one really ever does.
Dude, I do that shit all the time.
Or just busting the humble thing out and going, yeah, I'm going to slaughter him. It won't. We'll be done turn 4.
No, that won't
even be
happen.
Saturday, and we'll be done.
The best part is they're drinking on David Bowman's tab for that first game.
Right, that's what it's about.
Make
right
him
there.
pay for it.
Oh
Make
my
him
God,
earn that elimination.
Seriously, just like 40 beers.
Order beers from the table
half your
around.
keg. We'll take half the keg over here.
I'll have it all.
I want the keg.
You know what? Bring us an empty pitcher and then bring us enough individual pints to fill that pitcher.
So I can have beer for the rest of the weekend. Bring my growlers. Fill my growlers for me, David.
Refill my growlers.
Yeah, that's rough, man. Robbie's army is actually pretty scary for me because he has a lot of attacks on every single unit. They have a ton of attacks, and then the whole army's defense 5 short of his chap, which he doesn't care about. I don't know. He's got a lot of speed too. He has more speed than I do actually with the mounted sons and the what are they? Forsaken, right? What are they? I think they're Forsaken, right? The Pathfinder guys. Anyway, those guys with it on top of it it's rough. I don't know. It's not going to be a pushover. I think if I had to choose, I think I'll pull it out, but I don't think I'll pull it out by much. I think it'll be like a 12-point victory.
You hear that? He's not going to pull out.
Yep.
I'm not going to pull it out much.
Bulletin board for you right there, Avi.
Dude,
Yeah.
he's
I
gonna
mean,
make Robbie's day.
Robbie's already pretty much said, "Oh, Jeff's going to win. We're just going to sit there and drink beer." But I think he's underselling.
That. Don't fall for that. That's subterfuge right
Yeah.
there, man. He's
Yeah.
just trying to get you off your game, and then he's going to
He's
sneak
better.
in there
He's
and win.
better. Yeah, he's a better player than he leads on to be, and I think that his list is
correct.
gonna be really, really rough for a lot of people to face. And it's not particularly something I want to face because every time
I
I
don't want
face
to play it.
Varangar with my Abyssals, I just do not have enough Crushing or Thunder's Charge to get through and put down the serious pain on him. So I really have to outplay him in order to win this. So I think I can. I just don't think it's going to be easy. It's not going to be like a runaway victory in any way, shape, or form.
All right. Excuse me. Next up, we have Brian Brown versus Mark Cox, and I think I'm reading Brian's. Brian,
hold on. I
do you have
my
something
challenge
to present?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Present.
I started. What time did we start drinking today, Jeff? What was that? Like 1:00.
11.
No, well, you started drinking at 11, but I was
Oh,
driving
yeah,
and
yeah.
shit.
That's proper Sunday right there.
Like 1:00, 1:30, something like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
I didn't get as drunk as I wanted to write this today, but Brian Brown, you gigantic midget. What in the hell do you think you're doing coming back to Alamo without our express permission? You know, now that we're doing a new game system, you thought no one would notice that you played like a bitch last year and you could sneak back in without anybody kind of mentioning it? I'm going to mention ass. You know what? While we're mentioning things, how the fuck is it that we haven't played before? I mean, honestly, you know, I understand the way that the matchups work and that you were so far down on the tables that we could never actually run into each other. But what's your fucking problem, dude? Are you intentionally ducking me? Is that what's going on? Or are you just really that bad boobies? Hey, everybody. Speaking of Brian Brown, he loves it. Loves it when random strangers touch his nipples.
Oh, loves it. Oh, it's
Like-
his favorite.
Like a lot. I've seen him pull his shirt up and run through a crowd so that just a random hand or arm brush up against his chesticles. Totally seen it. You know, something else he really likes? Random hugs. Loves them. Loves
Who doesn't
those.
love random hugs?
Maybe a little too much. But the one thing that he likes more than that is when people get up really, really, really close and whisper sweet nothings into his ear. You know, uncomfortably close. Like, I don't know, really overtly sexual things, bordering on the erotic.
How can you be overtly sexual without bordering at least on the erotic?
I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Brian
Continue.
finds that the most erotic part of the body is the ball. Balls. Brian Brown eats excellence and craps out dildos. Now, those two things are unrelated, but it gives you a concept of what we're working with here, dildos. Brian, I'm going to make two promises to you for this challenge. One, you're going to have all the beer that you want. All of it. All of it.
He doesn't drink beer. He only drinks hard liquor.
Oh, he's going to have all the beer that he wants. He can drink that other shit on his own dime. And two, you know, you're going to get to play players that are more on your caliber in round 2 because I'm going to kick you down in the kiddie pool, the bottom of the field. So, you know, honestly, dude, I'm glad you're going to make the trek out. I'm really happy to see you again, and I can't wait to hange out with you. That's hange with a J, like a handy J. It's happening. Under the table. All right, that was me. All right. I know it was like mediocre, kind of like an 8 or 7. Yeah.
Mediocre.
Mediocre. All right.
Challenge 14-year-old girls with that mouth?
Well, I mean, there could be somebody from the UK that has very delicate sensitivities watching tomorrow.
Right.
But yeah, so let's hear what he's bringing.
All right. Brian is bringing an Empire of Dust list. He's got a Horde of Revenants. He's got 2 Regiment of Mummies. He has a Horde of Enslaved Guardians Archers. He has a reanimated Behemoth who's got a Balefire Catapult strapped on the back. That's right.
On.
He's got a strap on.
That's right.
Got a strap on.
He's got a pair of bone dragons that I presume he's going to use to bone you. He's got a Pharaoh. He's got a Cursed High Priest with heal 4. And he's got a Cursed High Priest on horse who I think has a heal 4 and a breath attack.
This is
Mark,
almost the same list I sent him. Almost.
Of course it is.
Almost.
Oh, okay. So Jeff's gonna write your list for you, you dildo crapper. All right.
I think it's a great list.
It is. It's a very good list. It's similar to a list that I smoked up in Minnesota, though. So I think I've got a decent chance. I haven't played the Bone Dragons before, though. So here's what I'm bringing to the table. I have a Legion of Tunnel Slaves. And Ryan, we're doing closed list for the first round?
Right.
And it's open list after that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Brian, what I'll do is I'll shoot you a message with what my items are because I've seen yours.
If you want to tell them, you can.
Yeah, actually, it doesn't matter, right? Because if second round is open, yeah, okay. So I've got a Legion of Slaves with the Crystal Pendant of Retribution. I have a Regiment of Shock Troops with the Brew of Courage. I have a Horde of Shock Troops with the Brew of Sharpness. I have a Horde of Blight with the Brew of Strength. I have a Horde of Brutes with the Brew of Haste. I have 2 regiments of Vermintide. I have 1, 2, 3 weapon teams. All of them have the upgrade for the piercing. I have an Enforcer with the Inspiring Talisman, literally the best buy in the game for utility. I have 2 Warlocks, just straight naked. And then I have a Flying Rat Demon that has speed 10 and wings. So that is my list. Let's see. So I read. Who else?
Jeff.
Ryan read,
Yep.
so it's Jeff's read.
Jeff's call.
Jeff call.
So, like I said, Brian's list is pretty close. He asked me for some ideas, and then he was going to make tweaks according to what he had. It's probably about 60% of what I sent to him, but with like the backbones of it. It's a good list. I think he'll do some decent damage with it. The other thing is I was supposed to play him in round 1. Mark and him are going to play on Friday night in the parking lot, or Friday night as soon as the tables go up inside, one or the other. I can't remember which.
Parking lot throw down.
So it should be fun.
Awesome.
I told Brian since I'm not playing him, I would help him out a little bit just because he's only got like 3 or 4 games under his belt, but I'm not going to like straight up. I'm just going to stop him from doing anything super stupid. So other than that, he just needs to learn how to play the army.
I'm not going to let him do something like
right. No, I mean
totally
like,
retarded.
He's not going to see little things that he could do with this army. Like Surge is really like a technical thing that takes a lot of time to develop how to play it properly and get your angles down. But I think he's going to do pretty well. Mark has a massive amount of playtime with this army because he's just been playing this army. He hasn't really tweaked it very much. So Mark's going to do good in this tournament.
I've swapped some items around, but yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, like Mark's going to just do really good in this tournament altogether. I think that Mark will probably pull it out on Brian here, but the list is pretty tricky.
Pull it out. I'm going to leave it the entire time.
The list is pretty tricky, and Mark is going to have a couple of things he's going to have to sweat here, and if that doesn't work out for him by turn 3, he's going to be in a really bad place. So those mummies are goddamn awful to have to worry about. They're so freaking good for their points. They're ridiculous. And the Bone Dragons are going to be what's going to catch you out, though, man. So I'd say watch out for those. But I think Mark will win this one, but I don't think he's going to win by any more than a 13.
There's that 13 again.
Yeah.
I'm looking
Maybe
at
a
both
14.
lists because I'm supposed to, and they're both pretty good. I've not seen Empire of Dust run this way before. I don't think I've ever seen mummies on the table. I take Jeff's word that they're good.
Awesome.
I like what Mark's bringing a lot, and Mark sort of knows what he's doing with the squeaky musk smellers. So I'm going to go Mark. I'm going to go 14-6. Just I think Mark pulls something cheesy off, get turn 3 or 4, and gets to swing a few points that way.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. Like Jeff said, I am worried about the Bone Dragon, and I am worried about the mummies. Like those are
Dragons.
Yeah, I know. Those are the two units that I'm worried about the most. Everything else, I've dealt with the behemoth. It's just way too slow to really do stuff. So yeah, I mean, everything else I can control pretty well. I think it's going to be how he sets up and his target selection. And since he doesn't have a lot of games, I don't want to be a jerk because I usually do pick against myself in challenges, but yeah, I think I could probably do like a 15 or 16 out of this. I may lose a couple of units more than I think I will, just maybe on a bad roll or something, or maybe I roll snake eyes or something. But yeah, I'll go with that. I think that's a decent call. It's still a good list. I like the list a lot. It's gonna be tough. It's not gonna be easy.
He's going to get better and better with it as the day goes. As the weekend goes on.
And I think that's going to help. And then him getting to sleep in on Saturday, because that's a weird time for them to come back 2 hours. I think that'll help.
Brian's a real technical player. He's been to Masters the past two goings, so he's a good player.
And he and I can sit there and shoot the shit on Saturday morning and kind of walk around and talk about stuff, and maybe he can get ideas from that too. Cool. So we've got table 7 up next.
Yep. Jeff Daniels versus Mark Bryson. And I think, Mark, you're leading off on this one.
Yeah, I totally can. I will do Jeff Daniels. Jeff is bringing the herd again. He has been doing a lot of paint work over the last couple of days from what I've seen. He has a regiment of tribal warriors, a regiment of spirit walkers. He has 2 troops of the Longhorns. He has a horde of guardian brutes. He has a horde of lichens. He's got 2 of the beast pack troops. And then he has a single stampede horde. He has a shaman with heal, another shaman with heal, and he has the avatar of the father. This is relatively close to what he played at
Shiloh?
Slobberknocker with me. I mean, maybe Shiloh too.
He didn't take the avatar.
I think he might have had the avatar at Slobberknocker. Anyway, so who's he going up against? Mark Bryson.
Yep, Mark Bryson. Mark Bryson's got the herd as well, so it's a beast off. Like you always seem to get those at Alamo. We've got
We're into that down here.
Right. He's got a horde of spirit walkers. He's got 2 regiments of the Longhorns. He's got 2 troops of beast packs. 2 stampedes. A Brutox. 2 shamans, both with the heals. And the avatar of the father. Is this the same list?
No, it's close though.
Pretty damn close.
It is close. There's some significant differences there.
Yeah, there's some troop differences and stuff, but yeah.
All right. Man, how do you handle when the lists are so similar and the players are so? Well, I don't know Mark's play style, so I don't know how close he is to Jeff. Mark's list on paper looks a little harder hitting than Jeff's. That may just be the 1 stampede and horde of lichens versus the 2 stampedes. Those lichens give you some mobility, though.
Yeah, they do.
You can reach out and get to those stampedes and knock off that TC too.
Yeah, he does, and he's got some tribal warriors he can do a little advanced chaff with if he needs to. Just on the minor differences, I think I'm going to go with Jeff on this one.
I'll go next. This is pretty quick. I'm pretty sure they played at Slobberknocker, and pretty sure Jeff won that one. Jeff just has so much crazy experience with Herd that I, I've got to pick with Jeff. He's just a really good player, so I'm going to take Jeff. 16 to 18 points. Like it's going to be pretty brutal.
Wow.
But Mark's a solid dude. I love Mark. If he's gotten a lot more playtime in than the last time I talked with him, then maybe he plays it. I know Jeff's going to help him out too. So yeah, maybe I'll drop it down to like 16. 16 points for Jeff.
Yeah, I echo pretty much what Mark said. The differences here that I like to see is Jeff's got more tools. Again, he's got the speed on those Lycans, and he's got some defense 5 stuff in there on top of it with the Guardian Brutes. I just think that all in all, I think Jeff's list is more well-rounded, even though it doesn't have the double Stampede and stuff. Jeff has plenty of things to deal with the other Stampede that he doesn't have. So if it's me, yeah, I'm going to go with like a 16 or 17 for Jeff, actually.
Okay. Sounds good.
Next up, we have Mike Hengel versus Julien Lesage, and this one has a challenge that I need to read off, so I will jump right in.
Oh God, I'm really going to read that shit that Julian wrote?
No, I'm going to ignore that crap because it was.
Oh, okay. You're going to read the good
week,
one, right,
and
good.
My 4-year-old could have probably written something better. Michael's retort was much better.
Yes, it was.
Julien Lesage. Apparently, the gibberish you posted a couple weeks ago was some weak sauce challenge directed at me. Well, allow me to retort. You little crapod. I don't know what is worse, the fact that you're French or that you invented WikiLeaks. It's shocking that floby haircut of yours provided enough of a disguise to get you past TSA. I can only assume your decision to move to Texas has much to do with your dream job of performing fellatio on cowboys. Unlike France, half-smoked menthols and used condoms are not a form of currency here in America. Try charging $1, you might be able to move out of that hobo shantytown you live in. Your choice of MLB teams to root for shows good taste. I'm shocked. Well done. Go Giants. To call you a scumbag for playing War Machine would be an insult to scumbaggery. You claim to be a top washing machine player. Bravo. What's next? Tic-tac-toe? Takes about the same amount of tactical acumen. I will change my vote to Donald Trump if he promises that you would be the first person he deports.
Oh, shit.
I hate crepes. Yeah, I said it. Real men eat flapjacks. You have no idea what you've brought on by challenging me. I'm a big, hairy American winning machine. I get up in the morning and piss excellence. Ricky Bobby, by the way, stole that quote from me. So, Pepe Le Pew, prepare for a good old-fashioned American ass-kicking, for unlike the French, these colors don't run. Murica. And he closes with a bald eagle against the American flag. I have a boner right now.
Yeah, it was good.
Who's got first on this one?
I think you and then Mark.
Yeah.
All right. I've got Julian's list. I hope I've got the right one up. Julian has dwarves with a elven Drakon rider ally.
That's what I'm seeing.
All right. He's got a unit of Iron Watch rifles. He's got 2 troops of rangers. He's got 2 hordes of shield breakers because Warma hordes. Ding! He's got a horde of earth elementals. He's got a pair of Iron Belcher organ guns. He's got a standard bearer. He's got a stone priest with Bane Chant. And he's got a warsmith. The second best kind of smith. Jeff, what's Mike bringing to the table?
I think Mike had that.
I've got Hengel.
Yeah.
My friend Michael is bringing Varengar. He has a horde of warband. He has a regiment of the Sons of Korrigan. Oh, I'm sorry. The warband exchanged their shields for 2-handed weapons, so they got the crushing 1, and their defense is dropped to 3. So, regiment of Sons of Korrigan, cave trolls, horde of them. He's got mounted Sons of Korrigan, 10 of them. He's got 2 troops of horse raiders. He has a devourer. He has a single Magus Conclave without the elite upgrade. Eesh. He has a Magus
That's
on
the
mount.
only one at the tournament without the Famulus,
Yeah.
by the way.
Right? Why would you not take that? Oh, that's right, because he doesn't play this game all that often. He's got the Magus on a mount with Bane Chant. Bane Chant 2 on that, in case you guys were curious. He has the King on Chimera. Good choice. And he has Scald, a single one on foot. Oof. Jeff, you get first pick.
Well, I don't really like Hengel's list.
Yeah, me neither.
If I'm being honest, like the cave trolls are good, like they're amazing good, like freaking stupid good. I think Warband is kind of meh. I like the Devourer though. I like that someone took the Devourer. That thing's freaking sweet.
I think what he's doing is just converting a lot of his old
I think so.
army
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
yeah.
So Julian's army is like pretty optimized. So he's got so much high defense. As long as he doesn't put that high defense and get hit by the trolls with it, it's fine. And then he has enough with the ally Dracon riders. He's gonna fly over and get some whenever he wants it. And Iron Watch rifles are amazing. Like his army is just to the tits, like optimized. So Julian, if you don't get a 16 or 18 on this, then I think you have to hand a 20 to Michael. Mike's a good player, but I mean, damn, just super outmatched on this one by a lot. So I'd say Julian with at least a 17. I would hope for his sake.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from on paper with that. God, on paper, Julian's army is just
I know.
way better. But Hengel's a crafty son of a bitch.
He's a good player, man. I know, but damn.
I think this is going to be a 12-point win for whoever gets it, and I can't really pick between the two. I liked Hengel's challenge so much that I'm going to give him the edge.
That's as good a reason.
12-point win.
All right. Well, you just stole my shtick because I was just going to give Hengel bonus points for challenge and call it there. The question's really how many games has Mike been playing lately of Kings of War?
I don't think he's played any.
Yeah, I know Julian's played at least a handful.
He hasn't played a lot either. So, I mean...
He's not played a lot either. His list is going to be a lot more forgiving of someone that's not familiar than Hengel's is. Hengel makes one mistake and he's kind of in trouble. Julian can make, I think, 3.5 mistakes, one of which is going against the Clintons on that email scandal because, man, they're going to find Julian Lassade in a ditch in the British embassy somewhere. I'm going to go Julian 14-6. I'm sorry, Mike. I love you dearly. I really do, but yeah, there's a big mismatch on lists here.
Yeah.
Or I could be horribly wrong, and you're going to beat the crap out of him, in which case, please have fun. Let me know. I'll buy you a beer. Next up, we have John Bailey versus Luke Schnell.
This is an old throwback challenge.
Yeah, I think this one goes back to Hillbilly.
Yeah, this goes back like 15 years. It's awesome.
All right, well, I got John's list ready to roll. John is kind of going pretty ranged heavy from the looks of it. So we have, strap in, folks. Here we go. 1, 2, 3 regiments of the Flame Bearers, a troop of gargoyles, 2 hordes of tortured souls. Doing it wrong, John. Doing it wrong. 1, 2, 3 troops of hellhounds, 2 BSBs, and 1, 2, 3 Ifrits. That is the list.
And I'm on with Luke's. Luke is running Night Stalkers, our first Night Stalker list of the tournament. We've got a couple. He's got 2 troops of Reapers. He's got a troop of Phantoms. He's got a horde of Butchers. He's got a regiment of Shadowhounds. He's got a horde of Fiends. He's got 2 Terrors. He's got a Void Lurker, and he's got a Dread Fiend. Are those No, they're not all the monsters in the Night Stalkers list. I keep thinking Dreadfiend's
No. Oh,
monster.
No. He's a hero. He's a hero fiend.
Yep. So that's what Luke's got. Mark, you want to
Alrighty.
take?
Yeah, I will. I will take a shot at this.
I already know where I am on this one.
The one thing that that the Night Stalkers don't want to see is a fruits on the table.
Yep.
And John's got 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
And some decent flame bearers.
Yeah. Those not so much because we're doing Firebolt. So they still got to roll the hit. So the -1 still will kick in.
Got it.
For the units that actually have it, not everybody has it. Man, I do kind of like Luke's list, but I don't like it against John. Yeah, so I'm gonna go John here. I think John's gonna get a couple of shots where he needs it. Luke is gonna be really hurting until he can get to that 3rd or 4th turn, like we've been kind of talking about with Night Stalkers. And if John can do the requisite amount of shooting in those first 3 or 4 turns before Luke gets in and starts stealing that inspiring, it could be a pretty tough day for Luke. But Luke does have a couple of cool big bashers in there. I just don't think they're well. He's got one that's fast. He doesn't have the other one that's as fast. So yeah, I'm gonna take John. Probably a 14-point win on this one.
Okay.
Jeff or Ryan,
Jeff?
what do you guys want to weigh in?
Yeah. If Luke doesn't get at least an 18 on this, I am going to be surprised. This is like a massive mismatch on paper.
How often
my
do you
God.
think Luke's been playing this game?
I don't know.
Luke is bringing his 2 sons to play as well, so I'm assuming they're playing at least once every week.
But is he playing? Is he playing Night Stalkers though?
That I can't answer.
I don't think
I
so.
don't know. If he's bringing it to this, I would assume he's practiced it. But here's the thing, right? John's list is paper thin, dude. You get over to it and you just kind of sneeze on it, and the shit's gonna fall over, man. Like, he has no combat units other than the 2 units of Tortured Souls. That's it. Just 2 hordes of Tortured Souls. The Hellhounds are cool, but
he's got a
they
shit ton
die
of check,
super easy. No, he doesn't.
He's got
He has
3
2
troops of Hellhounds and the Gargoyles.
They're not. I mean, like, they're chaff, but they're not crazy chaff.
They're
thing-
chaff.
Okay, but I'm saying.
You use 140-point things of Tortured Souls as chaff. How are the hounds
It's different
not
because
chaff?
they can heal themselves. My hounds are chaff too. I understand that, but I'm saying that he can get around those and he can blow those up really, really, really easy. The thing is, Luke's got the Shadow Hounds too, but he has the regiment of them, and so those guys are the same speed, the same melee, and everything like that. 20 attacks instead of 15, and then they have regen on top of that. They're like the best dogs in the game.
Better.
They're amazing. They're super
not
good.
flying. Yeah.
They're so good, and then the fiends are just damn awesome.
love
Here's the
fiends.
thing: John's whole army is kind of based around, like, let's put some shots on stuff, and then the Ifrits are gonna kind of fireball. But the fireball, he's gonna get it off one time before, like, kind of stuff is able to get in on top of it. All those fire bolts, they have to deal with all the stealthy in this army, and when you're hitting 10 shots on 6s, I mean, and that's if you're not obstructed on your line of sight. That is not something you're going to be able to depend on. So it's just a bad matchup for John. It really is. And then he's got a Void Lurker to go fly over and smack stuff around. The fiends are super hitty. I really like in this matchup that I really like the Night Stalkers to win this one by a solid amount. And he's got the 2 terrors too, which are just rough. It's gonna be rough for John.
They're just slow. That's my only thing with the terrors. The slow and lack of stealth.
Yeah, but 15 attacks and dash 20. The dash 20 is what makes it rough.
The dash does help, but the defense
And regen on top of that too.
The
and regen 4
does,
plus.
yeah.
Regen 4 plus. Yeah. So like the limited shots that John's gonna get in on him are just like 50% if I'm back on average. And the Dread Fiend can do amazing things too.
Yes,
He's
he can.
basically like half the points of a Void Lurker. You put 2 of them on, they do the same thing. It's rough, man. I don't want to pick against John, but dude, like, I'm gonna go 16 for Luke for this one.
Okay. All right. I've got Luke on this one for a lot of the same reasons. I think it's a bad matchup for John. Having an army of stealthy is a pain. Having a fast army of stealthy is more of a pain. And I think Luke's probably been playing more than John has. So, and I know he's bringing his kid. He brought his 2 kids to a GT, so he's playing. He's hyping them up. He's giving them advice.
Yeah.
Well, he did that at Bayou too.
Props to him for bringing the family. I can't wait to be doing something similar. I'm all in on Luke on this one, although I don't think it's going to be as big as Jeff does. I've got him at 14-6.
Okay. Fair enough.
Next up, we have Chris Gibney versus Tim Gleese. The first 9 tables were our challenges. We are now on to the ones that were randomly matched up. If you don't like who you're up against, I'm sorry. It's the computer's fault, not mine.
Learn how to challenge.
Learn how to do challenges.
So I will go first, and I think I've got Tim Gleese, right? Or do I have Chris Gibney?
Gibney.
I've got Chris Gibney. All right. Chris Gibney is bringing Undead. Wow, this is different. Usually plays rats. So Chris is coming off of a Redstone Rumble first overall.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, dude. He
job.
smoked it. He did awesome. So he has a legion of zombies. He has 2 hordes of werewolves. He has a troop of the Soul Reaver Cav. He's got a regiment of the Revenant Cav. He has a vampire on Undead Pegasus. He has a vampire on Undead Dragon. He has a Necromancer. And he has a Lycanus. That is Chris's list.
Whew.
Who's Chris going up against?
He is going up against Mr. Motherfucking Tim Gleese. Tim is bringing some gobos, looks like.
Yes, he is.
So, not exactly what Gibney wants to see for all of his high punch.
Yeah. Elite trash.
Yeah, right. So he's got a legion of rabble. Good luck getting through that in a go or two. A horde of spitters. He's got 2 hordes of trolls. 2 troops of Maw Beast Pack. Those will be his chaff. He's got a regiment of flea bags. 1, 2, 3 trombones.
They come standard with the army.
Yeah, they automatically.
They
when you click goblins, they just default.
Boop.
He's got 2 rock labas, a flagget with on a flea bag.
Yep.
He's got 2 wizards. They also have Bane Chant upgrades. He has Night Stalker allies. He's got the 2 troops of Reapers, which I forgot to point this out in Luke's list. Like those troops of Reapers for 155 points are putting down 20 attacks with crushing strength 1. I mean, like one of those guys gets into a regiment of Johns or something like it. One of these units gets into a regiment of a lot of things, they're gonna kill it. Like they're really good. And then he's got 2 troops of the Reapers and he's got a regiment of Fiends. So pretty good list, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Good list, man. It's a really good list.
I really like Tim's list.
Yeah, Ryan, you
Really
get first
like
pick.
it.
And I get first say. I like Chris's stuff. I'm also in the why you're not bringing rats. I'm shocked.
I'm offended.
Group. I'm not offended because no one likes rats, but I think Chris has a solid list. but I think Tim's got a really good list. And I got to partner with him at the hot tournament, I think twice, maybe? No, just once, but I got to play against him in the other game, and watching him move, he's one of those players where every unit has a target and objectives to achieve, and then they have secondaries to cover, and it's a lot of fun watching him go. I know he's been playing goblins all year. I'm going to go with Tim on this one just off that list being so good. The Night Stalker allies I love in this army. I'm going to go Tim, and I'm going to go 15-5.
Okay, Mark.
Mark?
Okay, I'll go. God, Tim does have an amazing list. So I was kind of scrolling through and looking at all the matchups. This is probably one of the top 3 or top 4 matchups when you're talking about really, really good players playing against each other. Chris Gibney is an awesome player. Tim is an awesome player. I can't ever figure out why Tim is as good of a player as he is and never seems to scratch into the upper rankings when you get into overall and stuff. Outside of paint, I get that. But I'm just so surprised that like Tim always has one or two of those games where he kind of falls out. Same with Chris. Chris has 1 or 2 fallout games usually. Obviously not the last tournament he went to. Tough call. God, just it's elite versus trash, and I really like those Night Stalker add-ins that Tim's got. So I think if you're going to go list on list, I would go Tim. If you want to go like X Factor, I'll go Chris at like 11-9, and I could flip that either way. Honestly, just it's going to be a tight game.
Yeah, I think with Tim's list he's got here, it's not someone Chris wants to show up to play round 1.
No, I think neither one of them wants to play each other.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Tim's happy with it. He's got enough targets to really just start applying those trombones and rock lobbers and lightning bolts too, and then he can play his game because Chris has nothing in the way of actual ranged damage, so Tim's just
he's got stuff that flies, man. If Tim opens up a hole,
yeah, but Tim's his footprint is so big on everything. It's going to be really tough to get Tim flanked.
Depends.
I'm just saying, even if you do, like, even if you kill something by doing a flame of those vampires or something like that, you turn and burn with 3 trombones, and it's rough. I think Tim's got this one by. I'm going to go with the 15. 15 for Tim.
Okay.
Cool. Who's up next?
Next up, we have Andrew Heinrich and Patrick Zorro Allen. I have Heinrich's list. If I'm remembering the cycle right. If I'm not, yell at me.
Yeah, you are.
Andrew is running dwarves to the surprise of nobody on Earth. He has a regiment of Iron Guard. He has 2 more regiments of Iron Guard that have swapped the shields for 2-handed weapons. So 3 total regiments, 1 defendy, 2 smashy. He's got a horde of Earth Elementals. He has 2 regiments of Berserker Brock Riders. He has a pair of Flame Belchers. He has an Army Standard Bearer. He's got a Berserker Lord on a Brock. He has a King. He has a Stone Priest with Bane Chant 2. And he's got a Greater Earth Elemental. That's tasty. What have we got on Patrick? On Zorro's?
It's you, Mark.
Oh, I'm doing Patrick. All right, cool. Patrick has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 troops of ghouls. He's got a regiment of wraiths, a horde of werewolves, a regiment of the Soul Reaver Cav, a Revenant King on Undead Worm. He has a Cursed Pharaoh, and he has a Vampire on Undead Dragon. That is what Patrick is bringing to the table. So,
Jeff, how do you see
you
this
get first pick
shaking out?
I Oh, this is going to be really this is going to be a really good game because both these guys are great players. Patrick's been doing really well this year. So I think you got to throw a player out of it on this one because they're both good players. And I'm looking at the matchup, just the paper matchup here is I really like Andrew's list. It's a variant of what I run for my dwarfs. It's probably about 75% the same thing. He's got lots of movement, lots of really high toughness, not going to break very easy. Not a lot of great targets for Patrick just to go in and pop immediately. It's going to be an uphill battle for Patrick, I think. And I'm going to keep it short and say I'm going to go with Andrew here, and I'm going to go with like a 14 for Andrew.
Okay. I am not going to go hugely in depth. I like Andrew's list better. So I'm going to pick Andrew 13-7.
I hate to dogpile, but I agree for everything that Jeff laid out, and minus it quote looking like Jeff's list.
I just think it's solid. It's very it's very rounded.
It's a high defense, high combat army, and Patrick has a lot of elite combat, but it's not elite combat that wants to run into defense picks.
Yeah,
Patrick's
not going to win a grind battle, and Andrew is a grind battle.
Yeah, exactly. I got to go with my boy Andrew. Dude, Andrew's going to win this, and I think it's going to be a larger margin than you guys are thinking. I'm thinking like 15 to 17 points for Andrew.
He's got a lot of chaff. Is the only reason I was kind of going with that.
He's got chaff, but chaff is free points for Andrew. That's free points for Andrew, dude. He's just going to pick those up, and that's provided that Patrick actually uses them as chaff as opposed to in objective scenarios, like those guys are way more valuable.
Oh yeah, I think he's going to do amazing in the tournament. I just think in that matchup it's rough. Yeah,
if we're not doing objectives, I got to go with that. All right, cool. So table 12, who is kicking off?
Jeff, you've got Ruperto Bustamante, and then I'll read off Zach Clark.
Yep, we're going with Night Stalkers on this one. He's got a Legion of Bloodworms. I think those come standard with a lot of people's Night Stalkers.
They're pretty good.
So Legion of Bloodworms, they're amazing. He's got a Regiment of Phantoms, which are kind of like your flying wraiths.
Yeah, I was about to say wraiths.
2 regiments of Needle Fangs. Those will be his chaff. He's got a horde of butchers, like you do. He's got the Regiment of Nightmares, because they only come in a regiment. So it's a large cavalry regiment, for those who don't know. And then you got a horde of Fiends, because they come standard with the list. And then Mind Screeches. He's got 2 of them. Ooh, those Mind Screeches. Them Mind Screeches. Ooh. They are rough. So basically, for those you don't know, they have 12 shots. They're a shooting army. They've got high 2, piercing 3, 12 shots. They're really, really, really good. And he's got horrors. He's got 1-2 horrors, and that's going to be how he gets his surge for his flyers and his brutes.
He's got Bane Chant.
They also have the Bane Chant upgrades. Yeah.
On the other side, Zach Clark is running Undead. He's got 2 Soul Reaver infantry troops. He's got a troop of wraiths. He's got a regiment of mummies. He has 2 legions of zombies with the giant rats. He's got a regiment of zombie trolls. He's got a cursed pharaoh. He's got a vampire lord and a lich king on a horse. The vampire lord is also on a horse. And he's got a necromancer on a horse with Bane Chant. Mark, what you seeing?
Yeah, that is that's good. Just reminder here, you are not using the cock pack, right? So you're doing allies with no items.
Yeah, allies with no items, but the pharaoh changes are not in.
Yeah, so he is defense 6 running around. Okay, yes. Good to know. Golly, this is tough. I know both players. I've actually gotten to play against both of them. Not necessarily in Kings of War. I got to play Roberto at Slaverknocker. I haven't played Zach in Kings of War yet. I like Roberto's list though. Give me Roberto. Zach, you're gonna have a tough time getting through him. The stealthy is not gonna matter too much because you don't really shoot, but yeesh.
10 mind screeches though, man.
Yeah, he's gonna counter battery you a little bit, and that's gonna be the game. Give me Roberto. 15-point win.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. 15 points.
Jeff, what have you got?
Yeah, I got the same. Roberto's. Zach's list is almost the same thing, or it actually is the same thing as he brought to Bayou. I played him at Bayou, and Roberto's got that reach out and get what he wants to pick up early. It's gonna be rough for Zach to deal with those mind screeches, plus the combat capability. So I'm Roberto for me for 15.
I guess I'll echo the same. I don't see a solution there in Zach's list for a couple of the problems Roberto gives him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go Roberto, but I'm going to go 13-7.
Yeah. Every time I pick against Zach, he always wins. But you know what I mean. So hopefully that's
really
a good omen for him. But
well, not to do a callback, but every time I pick in favor of Tim Glees, he doesn't usually do well. So, so I got the next one right. I'm reading David Bowman. Yeah, so we got David Bowman, table 13,
if he shows up,
right where he belongs, table 13, against Greg Kaufman, and he better fucking show up. So David is bringing Undead.
Mm-hmm.
Is this
very
right?
simple list?
Is this really like this is right?
Yeah, this is the one he brought over.
Oh my god! Okay, so it's this list. All right, so David, he's definitely going to show up if he's bringing this list. David has
just say it.
5 regiments of race. 5, and then he's got 4 Revenant Kings on Undead Worms. 5 race, 4 Revenant Kings on Worms. That's his list.
That's it.
That's
the
it.
army.
That's the army.
Everything flies. Everything's defense 5 or 6.
And he's got
plenty of surge.
3, 4, 24 surge in there.
Yeah. That's the list, guys.
So what's Greg
Kaufman?
Sure. Wow, David. He's bringing orcs. He's got a horde of axe. He's got 2 regiments of more axe because they have extra ones just laying around. He's got a horde of trolls, 2 regiments of gore riders, Crudger on a slasher, 2 giants, and a war drum. Let's just make this real quick.
At the top of the cast, I mentioned there are some matchups I looked at, and I said, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry."
Oh my god,
Greg.
Yeah,
Greg,
dude.
I'm so
fucking
sorry.
boned, dude. Oh my god.
We've got a Bowman that's bringing dick cheese, and I love you dearly, Greg, but David is gonna smash the fuck out of you, and there's nothing your list can do about it.
Bowman
smash. I've got a Bowman smash 19-1. I don't even have this being
You know what, Greg? Just go sit in the forest and the terrain and stuff and wait for him to charge you because he doesn't have any range damage. Just go sit in the forest and or terrain to force him to have the worst possible situation you could have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, like it is bad. It's a terrible matchup for Greg, but out of all the other matchups that Bowman could have gotten, like this one's still not like 100%. Like I'm gonna go Bowman 17 on this one.
No.
Yes, because he's not gonna break one of those orcs at some point, and they're gonna turn up, pop him in the mouth, and they're gonna take something off. So they're gonna get points. I'm gonna go 17 because unless Greg just deploys weird and gives Bowman all the points, like it could be a 20. It really could.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, if we if you know how we always talked about this type of list, Jeff, and I was like, well, if it's a kill scenario, I'm going to do this. If I did that, I could easily get at least 3 points out of that.
Yeah. Just D up, put a little, not even engaged, just D up.
Yep. So yeah, I still got to go that. Bowman wins.
Yep. I'm assuming Greg's not watching this, and
let's hope he doesn't. Let's hope he doesn't watch it.
Where's Greg from? Do you know?
San Antonio.
San Antonio. Yeah, he's a San Antonio dude.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
Awesome
20 for
guy,
Bowman.
Greg, but
Yeah, it's gonna be rough, man.
this is a bad.
Go find yourself an obstacle and forest to hide in, and just sit there.
An obstacle in front of a forest and behind both.
Yep, that is your only hope.
All right, so next round, what we got?
We've got Jeff Franz versus Lance Brown.
So do I have Jeff?
I think I've got Jeff.
You got Jeff. I've got Lance. All right, cool.
Jeff is bringing 2 regiments of Immortal Guard with throwing mastiffs. He's bringing a troop of gargoyles. He's got 2 hordes of lesser abyssal golems. He's got 1, 2, 3 dragon fire teams. He's got 2 iron casters with surge. He has Basusu the Vile. He has Basusu's gargoyles. And then he's got some allied abyssals just for fun. He's got a regiment of tortured souls and an archfiend of the abyss with fly.
That is a pretty good little list.
What's Lance bringing?
Lance is bringing Varangar, and my computer just decided to crap out on me. All right, there we go. He has 2 troops of Reavers. He has 2 hordes of the Fallen. He has a troop of Tundra Wolves. He has a troop of Mounted Sons of Korgon. He has a regiment of Mounted Sons of Korgon. He's got a Cave Dweller. He's got 2 of the Conclaves. Lacking elite on those 2.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, so we've got 3 Magus Conclaves that are all lacking that. And then he's got Hersha, the Fallen. I think, Jeff, you get first pick.
You do?
Oh gosh, I think it's another one of those matchups that's gonna be real rough.
Tough.
Yeah, I love Lance. I really want him to win, but I gotta tell you, this does not bode well for you, man. Like, ugh, that is rough. I'm just re-looking at it one more time before I say.
You don't need to.
That is
you're not going to see what you're wanting.
10, 20, 30, 42. I mean, 42 breath weapons with piercing, or vicious rather. Sorry, 42 breath weapons with vicious on top of it. Like, dude, ugh.
Yep.
Sorry, Lance. Like, I love you, man. Like, I hope I get to play you, but good luck, man. Like, this is rough. Franz by 15. Yeah, 15.
I've got Jeff 15-5 as well.
Yeah.
I've watched him play a very similar Abyssal Dwarf list, and he's pretty good with it.
I think it's worse than a 15. I think it's more in like the 16, 17 range. God.
Well, keep in mind he's got Fallen with that super high movement and stuff. He's gonna get some points out of them.
He does, but even then, man, like, God, I just see Jeff picking off the stuff that gets closest first. Unless Lance,
and that Cavern Dweller, oh my God, he hit that to those.
Unless Lance really plays like the line and moves the line up together, if he breaks it out and does it spread, dude, Jeff Franz all day. Sorry, Lance, I love you. We still need to review the beers that you gave me in Oklahoma. We just haven't yet. But yeah, buddy. It's not going to be a good game.
That's rough, man.
It'll be a
good game. Be a fun game. Yeah.
It'll be a good game. It just will not be a win.
Jeff's a great guy.
So. Yeah, Jeff's awesome. Cool. Table 15.
Table 15. This will be the last one we do for the night.
Okay.
We've got Rick Hoy versus Rob Fanoof.
That's great.
All right. Am I reading Rick?
I think Jeff is reading Rick.
Okay.
I got Ricky. Okay. So looks like Rick's taking some elves here. Is this his Lego army?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Nope. It's his wood elves.
Okay, so he's got elves here, and we have Kindred Archer Horde. Seems to be how everybody starts this. So Archer Horde, and then 1, 2, 3 hordes of Forest Shamblers. A horde of Dracon Riders comes standard with the list. Elf Prince. What is that? I have really never seen anybody take a Prince. So it's a hero on a Cav, 3 attacks, and no inspiring.
No
Yeah,
inspiring.
that's
That's surprising.
a weird character.
Okay. A Forest Warden. That guy's awesome. I love Forest Warden.
I love him too.
Great.
That's a good choice.
Amazing chaff guy too. Really cool.
Yes.
Tree Herders times Holy Balls twice. And the Green Lady. Pretty elite army. Pretty compact army.
Yep.
Going to be a lot of ways to get around him.
Yep.
Anyway.
Other side of the table, we're going to have Rob Thanoof. Rob is running dwarves. He's got a troop of berserkers. He's got a horde of ironclad with throwing mastiffs. He's got a regiment of iron guard. He's got a regiment of shield breakers. He's got a horde of earth elementals. He's got a flame belcher. He's got an organ gun. He's got a standard bearer. He's got a stone priest.
Rob has one of everything.
He's got a horse. He has Hernius Hunter. He has a troop and a regiment, so 2 choices of Hernius's Rangers. And he has a steel behemoth. This is a Swiss army.
So you fuckers made me take first pick.
Can you take the Hernius Hunters twice? When I thought you only got 1 unit of them.
Well, he's got 2. My book's upstairs. I can't look it up.
I think you can only have 1. I could be wrong.
I think you get the option to buy them.
Maybe.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
It doesn't really matter. They're just
I'm
just
pretty
the
sure
Rangers.
No, seriously, stall as long as you can. I got to look at this longer if I'm going to make.
They're just Rangers with the they add elite to it.
Yeah.
That's it. So
Yeah. And stealthy.
yeah, that's whatever.
It's only good if your opponent's shooting you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of shooting coming out of Rick. Oh man.
God, Rob just has everything. Like he has like the whole.
You know the funny thing is, like Rob just packed the stuff that he could get on the airplane and didn't he doesn't kind of care about it,
Yeah.
because he's expecting a Jeff Swan flight where they throw your bag around.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Expect it.
Yeah, so kind of all over the place with the list. There's a lot of stuff in there though.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Yeah, dude, he's got a lot of stuff. He's got a lot of drops.
Yeah.
They're all super slow though.
A lot of power in the list. Though,
yeah,
too. That Hernius the Hunter guy, that guy's badass. Just so you know.
Yeah, I know. No shit.
He's basically like a mobile bolt thrower.
Yeah, with 3 attacks though.
Yeah.
The skewerer. Shit. God, I think on paper I like Rick's list better because I think Rick's got the movement to deal with it. Because he's got the 2-4. Yeah. Paper, I want to go Rick. Player history, I kind of want to lean towards Rob. Shit, dude, this is a coin flip. I'm going to call this one a draw. Give me a 10-10 because I cannot pick between the 2.
All right, Mark cops out. Jeff, on you.
I am going to go with Rob on this one. It's not going to be big, but I think that Rob has enough to deal with the limited amount of drops that Rick's going to have. Rob is going to be able to kind of set up how he wants afterwards. So I think Rob just has a lot of tools in here and a lot of reach out and touch something. And Berserkers are not easy to deal with, even as chaff. 20 attacks, dash 16 to break them. Like they're good. And he has plenty of stuff that shambles, which will be awesome for those throwing mastiffs. Yay, something that shambles.
Rick has 10 drops. Rob has 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just looking at that.
I'm gonna go with Rob, but it's not gonna be a big victory. I'm gonna go with a 12 for Rob because dwarfs are just really, really difficult to just run into and
just
get
go and
through in
smoke
one
stuff.
go. And once they hold you up, you're just susceptible to the amount of damage that's gonna come in and get you. So.
But you got to remember that Rob plays way more than Rick. Like,
Oh yeah, massively. That's the reason why I'm giving him the. I mean, this is not something that Rob's like, oh, cool, I'm going to totally mow this army over. It's certainly not.
There's no way.
I'm going off of player experience with this game. That's what I'm going for. So.
I fear I played Rick at Lone Wolf, and I fear I did something to his surge dice, where he would always roll 1 to 2 inches lower than he needed to for whatever he was surging. No matter how far he needed and how many dice he threw, he would always be 1 or 2 low.
So you're saying Rick can't get it up?
I'm saying not that he can't get it up, but he can't get it fully up. It's just softer than it should be. I'm going to give Rob the edge on this one, but I'm going to go really minor, like 11 to 9.
So we're all pretty kind of in the middle there.
Yeah.
We've all got it pretty tight on that one.
All right. Well, that was table 15.
Yep.
We have closed that out. We've got the next 16 tables coming in on, what is that, Wednesday?
Yeah, we'll be doing the other 15 tables. We've had one more drop tonight.
Oh, so no ringer, huh?
So thank God I don't have to play a ringer. Please, nobody else drop.
Cool. Does the drop mess with the matchups we just did, or is the drop on the...
whoever is playing the ringer will replace the drop.
Oh, okay, cool.
On
so
next
sweet
Wednesday nights. So
it's on Wednesday. Sweet. So you guys have 3 days to drop.
Yep.
Just kidding. Don't drop.
Please don't
Let's
screw
get
it.
ads.
If you drop, add someone else, or if you add someone else, bring a friend.
All right. Closing thoughts, Jeff, real quick.
Is it Friday yet?
Wow, Jeff is finally not going to talk for 10 minutes. That's awesome.
We're gonna finish on time.
Why'd you started 20 minutes late?
I brought the softest army here. That's all you guys need to know.
I was waiting for that.
I know you're just
go.
waiting for me to say it. That's why I said it.
Those of you that are watching, drink. It's time to drink.
Yep.
He said he had a soft arm.
You know that's the reason I said it. Because he's just like, oh, come on, Jeff, say it. Say it. No.
Why don't we need to come up with a drinking game for our matchup casts in the future?
I think
The guys that
listeners
are watching
should
at home
do
are
that.
like, my God, you're quitting and you're wasting your time with this bullshit.
Yeah.
Or they're going, you
Sean
didn't get to
Bright
an
doesn't
army,
know
you
what they're
suck.
talking about and makes a random pick. Yeah, okay.
Right. Sean's like,
I'm drinking one
right.
around.
Ryan just agrees. Drink a drink.
I'm picking off the fact that I like this person.
Hey, sometimes that works.
Yeah. Expect, if you're on the Alamo list, expect more emails this week as I start hyping up the stuff we've got that's really cool and exciting. I finally have all the lists in, so I will release Scenario 1 at some point this week if I can get stuff together. Mark's doing a happy dance.
Hype.
Life is good. Alamo will be awesome, and I can't wait to see all of you.
Super stoked.
You want to
All
say
right.
all of me? That's gross.
Let's put a bow on that bitch, and we will see you guys on Wednesday. Next
good.
month, theoretically.
Yep.
Peace.
Night.